Okay.
G'day. It's a beautiful morning at Grandfather Mountain, North Carolina. This is Narly Nature. I'm Ferguson, and today we'll be looking at some unique aspects of Grandfather Mountain in the southern Appalachians. At 5,946 feet, this is a very, very high mountain. It equals out to about 1,812 meters, or about 150 school buses stacked vertically, which may not sound like a lot, but it is. It's also home to the most rugged terrain in eastern North America. Here we have the AB's Fraseri, or Fraser fir. Notice at the top here, they're all directed towards the left. That is dictated by the wind. Also, they are stunted. This species is endemic to the southern Appalachians. Check this out. I've trapped a North American black bear, Ursus americanus. This black bear's diet is about 85% vegetation. They are a true omnivore. Very little meat is eaten. When it is eaten, it's typically roadkill, so not going to be a proactive hunter like you'd see the brown bear being. This bear is 28 years old. Just getting on up there for a black bear, especially out in the wild. The lifespan is going to be about 20 if they make it to that. Average is more like 5 though, just due to hunting. They have a very keen sense of smell. It's about 7 times better than a bloodhound's. They can even smell a beehive over a mile away. Well, that's about it for this black bear. You can find them all over Grandfather Mountain, as well as the rest of the Appalachians. I appreciate you taking the time to sit here with me. That'll be it. Alright, so up ahead we have a male cougar. Used to be the top apex predator of Grandfather Mountain and the entire country. You might be able to see him, you might not. That's one of the reasons he was a top predator. Look at his camouflage. You can barely even see him. They practiced more of a stalk or just wait and ambush approach as far as hunting goes. Known to be the most accurate of the big cats as a hunter. Catch about 85% of what they go after. Let's see if we can lure them in a little bit closer. Alright, so right here we've got the female right now. The male, he decided to hang back a little bit. This female right here, as you can hear, is purring. They're the largest cat that can purr. An adult cougar can jump about 18 feet straight up from a standstill and bound up to 30 feet while running. Listen to the vocalization. Amazing creatures. The male has decided to come up. There he is. He probably weighs in at about 140 pounds or so. The female, roughly about 90. Here he comes. Good night, look at the size of this fella. Wow. Magnificent. Hey, big fella. How are ya? What you gotta say? Notice his eye coloration. It's got a little blue tint to it. When they are cubs, they still have a bright, bright blue eyes, as well as spots on their fur, which later in life, give it less than a year, completely goes away. Notice the size comparison now between the two. The length of the tail is roughly equivalent to the rest of the length of their body. They'll use that tail width and length to balance when they're jumping. Fantastic. This is the white-tailed deer. There are now more of these around here now than there was 100 years ago, but they've always been used as a great food source for Appalachian cultures. They're also now overpopulated because of the lack of top apex predators such as wolves, but also cougars, as we saw earlier. The cougar would take out one of these deer per week. That means 52 deer per cougar per year. You can now see why they would be overpopulated. Fascinating animals. There we are. Look at this. got two little feisty creatures, very playful in nature. They are pound for pound one of the strongest animals in the world. They'll eat anything from fish, small mammals, to reptiles. They also like playing with rocks in the water. Check this out. And boom, there it goes. When they go underwater, not only do their ears close, but as well as the nose to prevent water from entering the body that way. You'll often see bubbles coming away as they go under. Their fur is also water repellent and very, very soft, which is why, back in the 30s, they were trapped very heavily and their populations were decimated in the area. Luckily, through reintroduction programs, they have successfully repopulated the area. The golden eagle. Once historically found around Grandfather Mountain, this creature is now very, very rare and probably would not be seen around here. But in other parts of North America, you can still find them. When they go after prey, they can dive at speeds well over 200 miles an hour. The strength in their talons are powerful enough to break an adult man's arm. The wingspan between 6 to 8 feet is a very intimidating predator. Can eat anything from small mammals to other birds in mid-air. Turning its head back, it almost looks like it can turn it a full 360 degrees. That is false. As with owls, they can turn it only about 270 degrees. What a beautiful species. This is the red spruce. Related to the Fraser fir that we noted earlier, this spruce can be found at slightly lower elevations, but still only found on the high ridges of isolated mountains throughout the southern Appalachians. Big difference between the Fraser fir and the red spruce is the pointy. Much smaller than its relative, the grey squirrel, this squirrel thrives on the cones of the red spruce, which we just mentioned. Notice its red coloration. It's got small tufted ears as well. A very territorial creature. Often if you get too close, they'll let out a loud chirping sound. This species is also only found at the high tops of mountains in the southern Appalachians and becomes increasingly rarer with global warming. In this dense forest of Grandfather Mountain, in a test site of 30 feet by 30 feet, you can have up to 50 species of trees. Different ones, that is, which is more than all of Europe combined. Grandfather also harbors 200 species of wildflowers, 400 species of mosses and liverworts, 2,000 species of fungi and mushrooms. This truly is an area unparalleled beyond any tropical rainforest. What many would call an island in the south of the north, after the last glaciation period, the ice caps retreated northwards, even though the actual glacier only extended down towards Pennsylvania. All these species that had made its way down now tried to find a new habitat. When they went back up, they thought, this is pretty suitable, so they stayed here on the very, very tops of the ridge lines, which, again, is threatened by global warming. Oh, look at this. Deer poop. Alright, well thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Narly Nature. I'm Ferguson. Next week, join us when we'll be swimming with some stingrays.